just a little bit about Power for All before I answer your question. So for all your viewers, Power for All is a global campaign that's focused on ending energy poverty. So that's a fair bit of work to do, considering there's nearly a billion people without any access to energy at all, and another billion with intermittent access. And so what we really focus on is accelerating the market for decentralized renewable energy. And specifically, that means mini grids, that means rooftop solar, mobile solar farms, and the like. So it's basically adopting a non-business as usual approach to electrification. And yeah, you're right. So in fact, it was a study from IRENA, the International Renewable Energy Agency, that came out that said that about a third of the global energy workforce is made up of women, and that in fact it's renewables that have a better gender balance, something like 32% on the renewable side, whereas traditional fossil fuels is more like 22%. So we took a look at this for decentralized renewables specifically. And what we found is in this part of the renewable energy sector that those numbers held true, that women represented just under 1/3 of the DRE workforce. And then our census also reveals something that I'm assuming would be pretty upsetting to most of us to learn as we go, but maybe not so surprising, which is that when we looked at top management, those numbers decreased significantly. Looking at something as low as 16% of top management top management in India companies for decentralized renewables being women, and as high as 25% in Nigeria and Kenya. With those three countries as our baseline, though, I think 100% it shows us that we need to take more action, not only to get the benefits of energy access to women, but actually to get women employed in this sector.
Mm. And that's pretty interesting because we talk a lot about how critical decentralized renewable energy sources could be for the future of energy access in Africa. But flipping it, how critical are these sources to improving the lives of women on the continent?
Yeah, so great question. And I think you have to start with what is the problem that decentralized renewable energy is designed to solve? So it really is purpose built for rural and peri-urban areas that are places where in many cases a grid is never going to go. There's also applications in an urban environment to help with, that intermittent access. But really the main focus is that 85% of the energy poor that live in rural and urban areas. And so then you just ask yourself, what are the symptoms of communities without power? And they are extensive. I mean, so many of us right now watching this newscast, I'm going to guess, are enjoying as much power as we'd like to consume at the moment. But those communities that don't have access to power, they suffer from a number of problems that disproportionately affect women. That includes the ability to feel safe at night. That includes the ability to work after hours, after it goes dark, or educate ourselves later in the evening. It also means, for example, not having to walk 4 hours to charge a mobile phone. So these are just some examples, along with the dearth of healthcare. When there's not enough energy access, you could just imagine how these things would affect women more than men. But I think, on the bright side, the great part of the decentralized renewable energy sector is it tackles two big problems at once. It really does provide a new path to accelerating universal electrification, but it also provides decent work that is generally more diverse and equitable. The sector employs far more females and youth than the rest of the economy, and also employs more part-time and informal workers, which is also another important way for women and youth to make money. When I say equitable, I do mean that around wages. The sector overall has the higher median wage than the average in the economy.